I call the member for Lindsay.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I'm pleased to speak out against this government's privatisation of rape and domestic violence services, and I was pleased to support the member for Griffith's motion. I'm curiously interested, though, Madam Deputy Speaker, to see the member for Robertson, for Boothby and for Goldstein sadly now walking out the door, here to speak about the service, and the member for Goldstein now just trying to turn this into union bashing. I hope they have a thorough understanding of what it is that this government that they belong to, led by Minister Porter, has done to this service and why they think making money off the back of rape victims is acceptable. I assume they don't, Madam Deputy Speaker, because if they did, I find it criminal that they could be in here in support of privatising rape services. A woman, a man or a child at their most vulnerable as a victim of rape is now a dollar sign in the eyes of the Turbull government. The contempt for this government has for victims is breathtaking, and the contempt they hold for the rules and upholding them is absolutely shocking. They preside with a born-to-rule mentality, and I'm happy to call it out. Asking professional rape and trauma counsellors to break their industry's code of ethics is riding roughshod in the interests of making money and not providing thorough support. Now, I can understand how the government members can come to this conclusion. If you have never, ever needed 1800 respect, if you have never been raped, or if you are not one of the 1 in 3 people who have experienced domestic violence, or you're not an expert in this field, it would be easy to reach a conclusion like this. And if they haven't been a victim, I say to them, lucky you. But for vulnerable people who have been raped or been bashed or traumatised, we owe it to them as our duty of care to ensure that the services are available to them, no matter what. Why shouldn't victims and survivors of rape and family violence not get the best possible counselling service available? What is the possible justification there is that the government could come up with for this to take place? Now, Minister Porter has attempted to create diversion from this. Of course, he would, because we know he hates to be called out on dudding the people of this country. He has blamed 1800 Respect's provider, Rape and Domestic Violence Service Australia, saying they declined to be a subcontractor on the panel. Well, Madam Deputy Speaker, I can assure the minister he got that right. Of course they did. The offer made to them by Medibank Health Solutions was an offer that only a professional organisation could refuse. There was no choice but to withdraw, and the decision was not taken lightly by RDVSA, a service, let me remind you, that has operated for almost 50 years and is recognised internationally for its expertise. But clearly, we now know how to do business with this government, Madam Deputy Speaker. If you are willing to trade your values, your ethics and the quality of your counselling services, but most importantly, monetise rape victims and turn them into cash cows, then you can have a contract. And if those opposite don't understand what they support because those opposite don't care about victims, then you should consider the statement made by Medibank Health Solutions Director when he said, and I quote, "Medibank Health Solutions is to double its profit from sexual assault and domestic violence over the next 5 years." With a statement like that, should there be any questions whatsoever in the minds of Minister Porter and those on the opposite side of the goal of Medibank Health Solutions? Does he understand that the primary outcome for this service should be not making money, but to be saving lives and reducing trauma felt by someone who has been raped or been bashed? He would have to be a pretty bland breed of special to not understand how profoundly poor that statement is based on the nature and the content of what services they provide. Since when did we profit? From victims of rape, let alone double our profits from rape and domestic violence victims, Madam Deputy Speaker? I am astounded that this government has not intervened. But why would they? It is only in the national strategy to help reduce violence towards women, and now we know that reporting rates have risen and access to this service is being driven by demand. This is poor legislation led by a poor Prime Minister that is more committed to forking out running a $122 million opinion poll on the rights of people before the law. What a shame he isn't as committed to the rights of rape and domestic violence victims. But I can bet you, Madam Deputy Speaker, that come White Ribbon Day in November or the International Day for Eliminating Gender Violence, this Prime Minister will again talk a big game. And to everyone else who cares about rape victims and who wants to see an end to domestic and family violence, that at the next election they should think long and think hard about supporting the Liberals, because they cannot be trusted to support victims of rape and domestic violence, and defunding Rape and Domestic Violence Service Australia to provide that critical service on time, and the absolute support that these victims need is a demonstration of their commitment to women and children and men who have been raped or traumatised by family violence. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.